Hi everyone. So let me give you a scenario, a person, okay, and talk about all the misunderstandings, misconceptions, and incorrect beliefs about that situation, okay? So let's say there's a person, okay? That person is an extremely good student, does well in high school, is one of those ambitious students like many of you out there, okay? And goes to Harvard for undergraduate, for college, okay? Goes there, tries many different things, thinks about what he or she wants to do with his or her life, and decides to become a plumber. Okay, so this person goes to Harvard undergrad for Harvard College, and then decides to become a plumber. Now, for many people, especially the vast majority of people whose parents have gone on to college and who have high expectations of themselves, they're gonna say there's something off about that. Or maybe they might just flat out and say, there's just something wrong about that. That person is not using his or her Harvard degree to the best of his or her abilities, or that person is just, put it harshly, but a lot of people are going to think this, and I want to sort of counter this idea that that person has failed in life, right? So let's honestly confront the assumptions behind that idea. The idea that, if you go to Harvard or another fancy school, whatever fancy school, and then you decide to become a plumber or electrician or learn a trade, could be carpentry, electrician, you failed in life, right? So let's examine, just several of the many false assumptions behind that kind of thinking. Number one, that person who goes to Harvard and becomes a plumber or electrician fails in life because he or she won't make as much money, compared to having gone to Harvard and become a lawyer or whatever, right? That's false. I'll tell you why. Okay. I live next to a very wealthy neighborhood. My neighborhood is pretty nice. I mean, in fact, I love my neighborhood, my town, my city. But right next door is one of those towns that, depending on the year, gets featured in, America's 100 most, affluent or wealthy cities, right? From what I know, and I know quite a few number of people who live in that town, that wealthy town, the vast majority of folks there have owned businesses. Many of them have not even gone to college, okay? They own businesses like contracting, right? They own businesses, they own factories, they own distributorships, okay? So, am I saying college is bad? No. I'm just pointing out that having a fancy degree has not a lot of correlation with becoming wealthy. Yes, there is a correlation. Yes, wealthy people tend to have gone to college, right? But that's because I would argue that those people are ambitious, are focused, and they would have become wealthy and they would be doing whatever they wanted to do anyway, whether or not they had gone to college. All I'm saying is just because you have a certain degree, let's say from Harvard, does not mean you will become wealthy, okay? I'm also not saying that just because you become a plumber or electrician that you're going to become wealthy, but I'll tell you this. Let's say you go to Harvard, right? And then you become you don't have any particular interests or skills, and you decide to join a company, and you decide to join the human resources department or join the marketing department. Unless you rise through the ranks in that company, and one of the ways, and the only way you're gonna rise through the ranks is if you're interested in the work. But for a lot of you in that position, you're gonna leave that company and get burnt out because you're just following a path that was laid out for you without really thinking about what you wanted to do. Again, you've never really tried anything on your own in your life, right? So you don't really know what you're good at, what you like, right? Whereas if you're passionate about, making and fixing things with your hands, plumbers and electricians, master plumbers, master electricians, they make up to $100 or even more, right? I know plumbers who make $150 to $200 an hour. It takes experience, but right, let's say this person goes to Harvard, graduates when he's 22. If he sticks that with plumbing, by the time you're 30, you could become a master plumber, own your business. You could be already a millionaire or well on your way to become a millionaire. Okay, look, am I saying you should become a plumber? No, you have to like it, right? That's my point. You have to. You should. Why not? Why not? Why wouldn't you try different things to see what you're looking for? What you like to do. I'm not, 100%. I'm not anti-college or I'm not, for college. I just want you to try different things, okay? I'm not saying one way is the right way, and all other ways are wrong. What I want you to guard against is to follow conventional wisdom, follow what everybody else says, and blindly follow that, and then find yourself in a position where, you don't like what you're doing because you never asked yourself if you liked it, right? Again, having said that, I'm not trying to be harsh because it's okay to be in that position. One of the reason I'm making these videos is to encourage you, okay, to try different things and find out what you like to do and what you're good at. But if you don't do that until, later in life, it's also okay. I'm also encouraging you, it's never too late, right? Just because you went to Harvard, you practiced law, or you worked at an investment bank, and then you find yourself in your late 20s or early 30s or even late 30s or even your 40s, 50s, it doesn't matter, right? That I'm telling you, it's okay to start all over, and it's okay to have the guts to decide to take a breath and say to yourself, what do I really like to do? That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying you have to go to college. I'm not saying, you shouldn't go to college. I'm not saying, you must go to college. I'm saying, have the guts, whether you go to college or not, to try different things so you find out what kind of person you are. Okay? So, having said that, a lot of you will go to college, just as I did, right? And, go on to fancy graduate schools. That's fine. I went to Berkeley. I went to Harvard Law School. All I'm saying is, and this is where I bring in my dominant strategy is, yes, going to college when you're young or you're not sure, what you want to do. 99.999% of you, including me, will not know what you want to do with your life at that early age, right? So what I'm saying is, yes, trying to get into a good college is a fine goal, right? I'm trying to kind of tweak that formula a little bit so that you don't so blindly pursue grades and test scores, and you keep that mentality once you go to college and beyond. I'm trying to tweak that, and I just call it the dominant strategy, which is, yes, fine. Aim to get into a good college. That's fine, okay? You don't need to go, but once you go there, and the best way to get in is also the best way to get comfortable with taking on risks, right? Being comfortable with uncertainty, okay? And the best way to get in, so that's why I call it the dominant strategy. The best way to get into a fancy college, but also to guard against, falling into that mentality that tells you, getting into the fancy college will set you up for life, is to try different things and make something off that, right? Start a business on your own, on the side, just a small business so that you get used to trying things on your own, putting yourself out there, and, you're not simply just following directions, following orders, and meekly doing what seems prestigious according to other people, okay? So that's what I'm saying. So I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.